Hello, hello, everybody. What's going on, guys? Hello, 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 hello. What's up, my friends? I hope everybody's doing good, doing well. Give me 1 second while I unmute my guests. Hello, Mama Remy. Hello, Stephie. Hello, Kazoo. How's it going, guys? I hope you guys doing well. Chadley will be joining us soon. He's just setting up right now, and he'll jump in a minute, just getting everything ready. Oops, what was that? The music froze. How are you guys today? How's it going? What's new and exciting?
It's going good.
How was your weekend?
Anything
Anything exciting?
Very, very busy.
I took care of a sick Dryden all weekend, so
No. There you go, right?
we were couch potatoes all weekend. My husband was sick, so.
Oh, gotcha.
Couch potatoes.
Well, couch potatoes is not when you're sick. Like
Yeah.
Let me give a quick hello to all the guests here. Hi guys, how's it going? I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to the stream. For those who don't know, TacoCast is where we talk about all the craziness that's been happening during the month and all the news, all the speculations, all the rumors. And there is a lot to talk about, my friends. I'm very excited. I can't wait. Please, if you have any questions for us, you have to ping me, so at Spanishdude, and then let me know your question, and we will try to answer it at the end. All right, my friends. All right. We will say hello to you guys on chat, through chat. We won't necessarily say it to you guys because we get into our conversations with our group here. So yes. Kazoo, can you quickly type something so I can remod you?
yes, I just have to.
And then that's about it. So
Yeah, I just have to get to.
That's fine. Take your time. Please, if you guys do not know, we have Mama Remy from her channel, Mama Remy. Her link is in the description below. We have Stephie joining us this time around. Her link is in the description below as well. Stephie the Unicorn. And we have our guest after 1 year of not being on, the Yellow Kazoo. And her link is in the description below as well. I see we're having a little bit of interference with our video, but hopefully that'll clear up by itself. Hey, Chadley, there he is.
Hello.
And we have the wonderful Chadley
Glorious
as
beard.
well joining us, and he is in the description below. All right, guys, let's jump into it. Let's not waste any time. We have lots to talk about. So, how has everyone's month been? What's new and exciting? What are you guys doing on your channel? What's new that's happening? So let's go ahead and start with we'll start with Mama Remy today.
I got Mario Maker too.
GG.
So I made my first level. We started doing it like on the stream, like together. And then it's like, okay, like I don't want to finish the entire level on the stream because then they're gonna know how to get through it like really quick. So it's like, I'm gonna finish it off stream so that we can start the next level on the next stream. So yeah, it's been kind of fun. So really frustrating. It is easier to make the level in the handheld mode though than it is on stream with it. So yeah. But other than that, just same old stuff.
Kazoo, what about you? What have you been up to?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to start some weekly series. So I have Zelda Sundays, Mario Mondays, Splat Tuesdays, and oh yeah, I just started doing trying to do Wallop Wednesday, which is like fighting games.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
I like
cool.
the name.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
Kazoo wants to start
fun.
fighting with everybody.
Always fighting.
Nice. Stephie, what about you, my dear?
Fun.
So I've been playing a lot of Mario Maker. I'm guilty for it. I love the game so very much, and a lot of Mario, or in general, a lot of cute little games because I love the cuteness that nobody else really explores. Off stream though, I've actually gotten back into No Man's Sky with its latest update. I am pleasantly surprised with the updates on the game. I actually like it now. So just a heads up for people, if you're kind of like missing that game, it's probably time to check it out again. Just saying.
Hey, no, GG for sure. I've never touched it, but maybe I might have to.
It's super pretty though.
For sure, that's what I've heard. Chadley, what about you, my friend? What have you been up to?
Other than the normal stuff that I do on my channel, because like I'm almost done with playing my Mario-thon, I think, as Recorderometer mentioned, where I was playing through all of the Mario platformers. So like we're working on Odyssey right now, which is going to be the last game in the series. So we've been playing Mario for about a year now. So that is, it's good that it's coming to a close.
I know for sure.
But I've only been doing that like on Mondays. And then Tuesday, I've been playing Pokemon, which I've really been loving that game. Yeah, Wednesday's always my Mario Maker day. And off stream, I've been doing a lot of like Minecraft with the kids, League of Legends with the kids, and then also I've been starting to get back into playing some Hyrule Warriors with Mama Duck. So,
oh, that's good.
Yeah, that game's really fun.
I got to play League with Chadley the other day. That was fun.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was awesome. We need to do that again for sure.
Yes.
Sure. So, what do you call it? Myself, as you all know, I've been playing a lot lately through Monday to Friday, a lot of Mario Maker, and I've been getting asked the question if I'm gonna only be a Mario Maker streamer. And to answer your question, it's not that I'm gonna be a Mario Maker only streamer. It's just that I've gotten really addicted to Mario Maker in general. There's a lot of creations been going on. I'm trying to throw in every once in a while, you know, Smash Bros, and I'm trying to put in some Mario Kart. But I think what we can definitely say, I think I've become more of a Nintendo streamer in general. I think that's what's happening with the channel right now.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you know, so I'll definitely be like, for example, when Luigi's Mansion comes out, I'm definitely gonna be jumping on that for sure, you know, and streaming that. But no, I'm not just a Mario Maker. But at the moment, yes, I am playing a lot of Mario Maker, and I know a lot of people are like, but that's why I'm trying to keep my weekends free, and I'm trying to do the streams on weekend. It just is not working out the way I want it, because every time a weekend comes, something comes up, and I have to just drop everything and take care of what I'm doing, you know? Family comes first, so that's how it is.
Yeah, it does.
That's definitely understandable.
For sure. All right, guys. Well, let's jump into it. We got some news. We got lots of news to talk about, lots of exciting things. So, if some of you haven't heard, or if you have heard, PlayStation 5 images were leaked. First, they were just showing off designs, pencil drawings, and they were patent, and everybody was kind of skeptical of what they were, if they were even PlayStation 5 or what it was, because all it said was Sony devices. Then a 3D image was shown the next day it came out. So then people got really excited and said, well, there's a play button, there's a disc tray, what's going on? And a dev came out on Twitter and said, I know this is our development console of PS5. So he did confirm that it is their dev kit. Now, after that message went out, about an hour after, it was taken down, and now his Twitter account is deleted.
Oh
so,
my god.
Yeah, so he got hit hard. And apparently that was Sony's response to him because I guess you sign a contract when things like that happen. You're not supposed to be letting information out like that. So he did.
Yeah, that's definitely an NDA thing. Oh my gosh.
So what do you think happened to him? What kind of repercussions have been taken towards him? And what do you guys think of this this thing coming out, this dev kit, this PlayStation 5? Does it make you excited for it? Are you not really into PlayStation? Like, what are your thoughts about all this? So let's go ahead and start with Señorita Remy, because she's making a face.
Looks like crap. I don't like it. Okay, no, I've played PlayStation 2. I did play a little bit of PlayStation 1, but I got into PlayStation when PlayStation 2 came out. So I like the sleek box design, and this literally looks like a piece that I would like take off of a mech, if it makes sense. Like you would take off like the front part of a mech, and like your face would go into it. It's like, I don't like the design. It's not futuristic. It's not sleek looking. It's like boxy and icky. But as far as the guy that leaked everything, I hope he got paid lots of money by whoever he wanted, or whoever wanted to, have him leak that, because that just ruined him.
Yeah.
That ruined him completely.
Really?
So
Oh my
I hope
gosh.
he liked his job because he's not having it anymore. And that's basically all I've got to say about that.
For sure. Kazoo, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it really seems like just an admission of guilt to just like say like, yes, this is the PS5 dev kit. But Remy, you mentioned something about just it, like him being paid to do that. So like,
Yeah.
is that? Do you think that's definitely what happened, or?
Well, it's like,
do you think
it's like, hey man, I know you're part of this team, and I know you know what this looks like. I'll pay you $1 million if you leak this. I want to see what it looks like for anybody else. I'll pay you $1 million. It's like, okay, fine, you're gonna give me $1 million. You know, let me see it. And it gets deposited, and he leaks it. You know, I hope it was worth it. That's what I was trying to do, like something like that.
Right.
Oh snap! We're being raided at the moment. What's up, raiders? How's it going? It's a cat raid. I haven't gotten raided by a cat in such a long time. It feels so like, oh my god. Hey cat, how's it going? Hello Cherish, hello Mike, what's up? How you doing? Okay, she's going for our outro. Hey Farhan, what's up? How you doing, buddy? How's it going? I forgot to put the chat bot on, so I'm just gonna turn that on. You're gonna see Kazoo's face being covered. Hey guys, how was the stream? How was Minecraft? Guys, if you don't know who SnapClick Cat is, she is an awesome streamer, one of my good friends. Let me grab her link. Boop. Definitely go check her out. Go show her some love. She's super awesome. She's not family friendly, but she's awesome, and you'll definitely love her.
Nice.
I think we should do the command just once because it's awesome. Give me a second. Let me first disable the rest of the commands. Enable that one. But yeah, so let's go. So what are your thoughts, Stephie, on all this?
So my thoughts on this, a couple of things. I agree with Remy. The design is ugly. I mean, okay, let's be real. It looks like a cup holder. It looks like a cup holder.
It does.
With that said, I do like where they're going with it in the sense that it's going to give more ventilation for the fans, which PlayStations are notoriously known for being loud. So that's a good thing. I see where they're going with it and why, but it's not going to fit on your shelving very well. It's not going to have a good layout. It's just going to be awkward with everything else next to it. As for that dude, yeah, I'm going to say he got fired. He probably got fined. He's going to have a really hard time finding a job anywhere else. I mean, you knew what you were going into. You signed a lot of agreements. Like, you probably filled out a book of signed documents saying, I will not disclose any of this.
Yeah.
You knew what's coming to you. You had it coming, sir. That's it. That's all I can say with him.
No, for sure.
Those NDAs are no joke.
They're not. There's a reason for it.
Take them seriously, huh?
Hey, Kat, thank you for the raid, honey. That was awesome. Wow, wasn't expecting that. How are you? How was Minecraft? Chadley, what are your thoughts on this PlayStation 5 situation?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is only a dev kit, so we obviously know this isn't going to be the final design. And we all have seen what the dev kits look like from previous consoles too, and usually they don't look like anything of what is going to actually be released. So, like, obviously, if this is what it's supposed to look like, I agree. It's kind of weird. It's totally off brand of what PlayStation has been in the past. So, it's, I mean, if you flip it upside down, it looks like goggles or like binoculars almost. So like there's a spot for your nose and then there's the goggles, you know, or like the new style of the Viewmaster or something. So but yeah. I know young guys don't know what a Viewmaster is, but check it out.
Check it out.
But yeah, so I mean, obviously this is not going to be. I mean, this is obviously not going to be the final design. I mean, if they stick with it, I mean, it I don't know. I mean, maybe they just need a change too. Like maybe they're thinking that if they go with a different style of design, that it might be good for the PlayStation. I don't know. I've never really owned any PlayStations other than the PlayStation 1 most recently. So, so yeah, I mean, I'll probably just stick with my Nintendo stuff for now for anything that's new, especially since a lot of the stuff's coming to the console anyway, so to
Yeah,
come
true.
into the Switch anyway. And I've never been a big 4K is not really in my radar right now. Like I don't even have a 4K TV, 4K monitor, or any of that kind of stuff. So it's
Yeah.
like
Same.
it's kind of silly for me to even buy it, knowing that I'm not going to be able to use the full potential of the system anyway. So
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
yeah, I'll just watch everybody else.
No, for sure. And definitely like when it comes to dev kits, I mean, if you go back and you take a look at the past dev kits that they've released, the PlayStation 4 one doesn't even look like a PS4. It looks like a giant VCR. And then the Xbox One was actually just a desktop computer they sent them. Right, so I'm hoping that's exactly what it is. It's just for those who haven't seen. I don't know if I can find a picture of it quickly for you guys. The one that we're talking about, but yeah. So I'm not entirely happy with the design, but like I said, he came out and said it was a dev design, so I'll give him. So there it is. That's the PS5, the one in the black. So that's what it looks like. Looks a bunch of. Yeah, like binoculars. He definitely got in trouble. Like we can come down to that because, like I said, his Twitter was completely deleted. Whether he got fired, they haven't said. Nobody said. Yeah, whether he got fired, nobody knows. They said he should have just stayed quiet, and I agree. I think he should have just stayed quiet, even though he knew it was a dev kit. He should have just stayed quiet and just left it well enough alone. I think,
Yeah.
but. It is what it is. I mean, sometimes we as human beings get excited and do things that maybe we shouldn't be doing, and we do it anyways.
That is true.
So, it happens, right? Poop happens.
Yeah.
Well, not
What?
just even with the NDA. It's like you break NDA, that's one thing, but like Remy was mentioning about him getting paid to do it. That's a whole nother can of worms. Like you get paid to basically leak information out on an NDA. Like that's a big deal. Like that's not just somebody like saying,
I didn't say he did. I just said I hope that it was worth it if he did.
No. I didn't. That's what I meant. Like, I was just saying that if money's involved, that changes the whole dynamic of what Sony would be doing. So if they found out that he actually accepted money for it, like. Yeah, that's not just breaking NDA anymore. That's
For sure,
serious business.
Exactly, and we got a lot more because we're gonna talk about something a little bit more serious that's been happening too. But let's jump into some Nintendo stuff. So Nintendo did their Indie World Showcase. I'm not a big fan of Indie World Showcase. It's not for me, but I did get a chance to catch it. I did watch it, and. Are there any games you guys are excited for? And what are your thoughts on Indie Showcase? Here's the thing, like I'll just do mine right now. Not that I hate indie developers. I love indie developers. Don't get me wrong. The problem is they kind of stick to the same 8-bit, 16-bit section, and there was only a few games that I got excited for where I was like, finally, this is a different design. This is what I want to see. You know, they're pushing their limits. I know some people have cost limitations. I get that.
Yeah.
But it always comes out to the same thing where it's like an 8-bit platformer. And it's very rare that I really like any of those. But that's just me. Not saying that indie developers are bad. I mean, I love them. I give kudos because I know a lot of work goes into them. But that's just coming from me.
Yeah.
But one of the ones that I was looking at that I really kind of intrigued me was I don't know how to say it, Europa. I think it's called Europa.
Oh, yeah, Europa. I saw that one looks good.
So that one looks really good. It's basically, third person, and I don't know, like it kind of like the whole screen moves and you're this little character walking. It looks really cool. Like it's probably one of my favorite games that I saw over there. Then Torchlight 2 was shown. Dungeon crawler. So I like those type of games. Hey, Zombie! Thank you for that donation, buddy. Super awesome of you, man. You didn't have to. Thank you very much, man. Then there was a Super Shot. If you guys never played that, I played that one with the what do you call it? VR, with the VR.
Oh.
So they're bringing that out. Thank you very much, Zombie. Super appreciate that, buddy. So they're bringing that out, and I played it. It's not too bad. Let's see
Ori
what
looks pretty interesting.
Oh, Ori's such a good game.
Yeah.
So Ori,
Have you
yeah, they
played it,
showed
Remy?
Yeah, Ori.
they showed Ori. I mean, I didn't really like it. I found it very boring, but a lot of people are excited for that one to come out, so that's good. There was
Rigo.
Huh? There was
Remy's like, excuse me, sir.
Excuse me.
I watched Miju play it. I watched her play it, and that's the only way I was able to enjoy it because she was talking to us, so I wasn't getting bored of the game. But then there was Skater XL, which is a skateboarding game. For me, that didn't look intriguing. I just like the aspect that it's a skateboarding game. We haven't had a skateboarding game in forever, so that's pretty cool. But it didn't.
Crayola Scoot?
It didn't look good. Then there was okay, so there's one that's coming out called The Tourist, and it kind of reminded me of Minecraft, like
Yeah, I got that vibe too.
a better looking Minecraft game. Did you guys see that game at all? So that one I was like,
Yeah.
well, it's kind of a Minecraft looking game. Then there was Skellboy, which looked really good, another dungeon crawler type game. That one looked really, really awesome. And then the one that I found intriguing, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be a battle royale game, kind of looked like that, was Hypercharge Unboxed. It looks like you play as a toy, and it looked really, really interesting. Like you were playing in the backyard, and you were a toy in somebody's bedroom, and you were shooting other bad toys. So I don't know if it's gonna be a direct just adventure game, or if it's gonna be like I said, a battle royale type game. But those were the ones that really piqued my interest. I was like, hey, these look cool, these look fun. So that's what that looked like. So let's go ahead and start with Mama Remy. What would you say piqued your interest?
Usually I'm all about indie games because there's a lot of good stories, a lot of good games. I do have to, agree with Rigo. It's like 8-bit, 16-bit, games a lot. But from someone that likes those type of genre, type of games and style of games, it really hits home with me. But there's a lot of love in those games, and so I always look forward to the showcase. This one I was kind of sadly disappointed with. I am excited that Ori's coming out on the Switch. I have it on the PC. I do need it for the Switch now, so because I want to be able to play it on the channel. But it's like I already have it, but it's like I need it again on the console, so I can play it on the console. It's like I need it. It's such a great game, and you should play it, Rigo, for yourself, and not watch somebody just to get into it because it's so immersive and it's pretty. It's super pretty, but it's got a good story, and there is Ori and the Will of the Wisps coming out next year on the Xbox, which I now have one, so I can play that too, and I can, but if you don't want it, then if you don't want to play it, then that's fine. The Tourist
might come out on the Switch. I wouldn't be surprised.
I hope it does. That would be great. My inner geek would just be like, whee! But the Tourist, whereas it did look good, it's like, why would I want to stay on my couch or wherever I'm playing this game at to play a game to go on a vacation that I can't afford, to work on said vacation, but I'm supposed to be on vacation, so I'm playing a game to go on vacation to work during my vacation. It's just like, wait a minute, what? That's like playing a game to do chores. It's like, I'm playing video games to avoid the chores, but I'm playing a video game to do chores. It's like, no, why?
To be fair, that's basically what Animal Crossing is. And Animal Crossing is prime, though. Like,
I don't know, but yeah, I wasn't.
Maybe you don't think so, Remy, but
I've never played Animal Crossing. I'd like to, but I've never played
you need
it.
to, girl.
I want to, but I haven't yet. There's so many good games that I want to play, but not enough time. Gamer problems. But no, I was kind of disappointed with the picks this year of what's coming out. So I was like, well, I'll just save my money for another game that comes out that's more expensive later on down the line. So
there you go.
There you go. See, there's always a silver lining, I guess. Too.
Exactly.
It's true. It's true. Yellow Kazoo, what are your thoughts, and what games were you excited for, if you were excited?
Yes. Well, I do think that Ori looks pretty good. I didn't see too much that would be too interesting to me. There was a distinct lack of Untitled Goose Game. I didn't see anything about that. I don't remember seeing anything about that. unless I just wasn't here.
No, I don't think I remember
didn't
seeing
see
anything.
anything about a goose. No.
I didn't either.
Untitled Goose Game that game looks fine. I mean, that's one of the dangerous kinds. But I don't know. I think that one is supposed to be coming out.
Oh my god, you actually play a goose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember them showing at
Like,
E3.
You play as a goose and you just try to ruin people's day. Like, how is that not fun?
Okay, I want to play this game.
but like, I think that's supposed to come out like Q3 2019. I'm pretty sure. It might be second half 2019, so there would still be time.
Mhm.
But if it's supposed to come out like fall, like Q3, like they need to tell us some stuff about that.
There
For
needs to be
sure.
a duck DLC so Chadley can play the duck.
There does.
Yes.
You right though. You right.
Steffi, what about you? Any games that spoke to you?
Yeah, actually, there were a couple. And going first to your point about the 8-bit, 16-bit, I considered it and I was like, yeah, I see what you're saying. But we also have to consider that indie developers, most of them are done by either an individual or a very, very small group of people. So it's easier for them to get more done in less time at a high quality in this format compared to some of these more really super artistic or 3D games. So it's a little bit harder, especially for ones just now coming into the gaming world. So I can see where we're getting a lot of that. It makes sense. And then the ones that do stand out really stand out. So I think that's a good thing. As far as the games I'm excited for, okay, I'm not really excited for this one, but Torchlight 2, you guys, it had a pink unicorn. It was chunky. I loved it. It was so cute. I have to shout them out for that. But games I'm actually excited for, Cat Quest 2. I absolutely played the crap out of the first one. I loved it so much. So I'm really happy for number 2 of that game. And the art style of Eastward, that looked really good. It was that future, like post-apocalyptic one. It was very charming looking. It's supposed to be coming out in 2020. I'm excited for that one. It actually looks like it has like a really good like character development. It kind of reminds me of the character design of Undertale. Like obviously Undertale is a lot more basic in its look. But the way the characters interact, that's what it reminds me of. So I'm really curious to kind of see where that one's going. And then the other one was going to be that Europa game because it looks a lot like Human Falls Flat, but more of a puzzle adventure feel in my opinion. So
That's
I
what,
like
yeah.
it. I like it a lot.
Chadley, what about you, my friend?
Yeah, I was just refreshing my memory on which games were shown because when I watched it originally, again, I wasn't really too impressed with a lot of the stuff, but that one game you guys haven't mentioned about yet was that one called Risk of Rain 2.
Oh, yes, I know.
That was a 3D one. They were showing, like, basically made it sound like you make one attempt, and when you die, you make another attempt, but it's different. It's like it's never the same. Like, you play through the levels, and even though you died and you play through the level again, it's like it's not like you can remember what's going on because it changes, I guess, as you're trying to make attempts at beating the levels. At least that's what it sounds like when I read the description just now too. So and also the graphics look pretty nice. And it's not a 2D 16-bit game that we've seen. So that one I kind of got intrigued with. So I'd be interested to see some gameplay, like more gameplay on it before I would maybe think about playing it myself. But Roki was another one that kind of looked interesting. It kind of reminded me of Rhyme.
Yeah.
And the art style of Rhyme, which I really enjoyed Rhyme. I love those types of games where it's just like it's sort of like a 3D platformer, but the majority of Rhyme is just solving puzzles, and those games I really like to play those types of games.
That art style is really nice.
Yeah. Torchlight 2, I'm also interested in that because they added, I mean, Torchlight 2 has been around for a while, obviously on other platforms, but now that they're bringing it to Switch is kind of cool. But different from the first Torchlight game, they added multiplayer to it.
Yep.
So now, because like I was like, oh yes, Epic Games had Torchlight, the first Torchlight, they gave it out for free. on Epic Games. I was like, oh, cool. I'll just download it, and I'll have Mama Duck download it because we like Diablo 3 and we like Diablo type style games. So I was like, oh, we'll check it out. And then I realized it's not multiplayer. So yeah. So Torchlight 2 kind of has us intrigued to check it out once it's available on some kind of platform that, I mean, obviously we can get it for PC now, but yeah, Europa, that was another one that was already talked about, which kind of intrigued me. Super Hot, I'm interested to see how they adjusted the game to make it work on the Switch.
Yeah,
because it's not the same. Like from what I watched, it's almost like they have you walking around in the levels too now, where with the original Super Hot, all it is you're just stationary because you're doing VR, so you can't really walk around too much.
That's true.
And I think with the Switch version, there might be levels where you're not just standing still, but you're actually going to be moving around almost like a first-person shooter type game that stops time whenever you stop moving. So, what was there? There was one other one I think too. Oh, and then Ori. I mean, Ori just looks like a very beautiful game, but yeah, I never really watched anybody play it yet. So I think once I watch a little bit of gameplay, I might decide on whether or not I'd be interested in playing it myself. So,
no, for sure. No, and like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't mind every indie developer. It's just that, like, I get it. Like, if that's the only way you can make a game, that's fine. But you have to make a really good story, and it's very hard to find an 8-bit game well done with a good story. You know, like a very good story. that's my only issue. A lot of them don't do it like that anymore. And I think because I've been dinged too many times, I have a bunch of games on my Steam, and it's like, where's the good story though? You just kind of threw you into the game and go.
Like for all the generic ones, there's only like 1 out of 100 that you're gonna find that's like a Celeste or an Undertale or something like that.
That's
There's
the thing,
so many
right?
that
Like a
blend together.
Celeste or an Undertale.
Good point.
You know,
Speaking
and
of Celeste, it's free on Epic Game Store next week.
yep,
yes, yep.
yep.
Which it is a good game. For those who haven't picked it up, definitely get that game. That game is fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's the 29th to the 5th of September. So it's like a week where it's going to be free on Epic Games, which I will be the one. I'll be one of those that picks it up. So.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I said, though, that I was convinced. Like when I saw my buddy Faran play it, I was like, kind of intrigued to play it. And I caught when he was doing like the part where you have to read the story, and he reads it, and I was like, I'm kind of intrigued. I want to try this game. And then all of a sudden, I grabbed it and I started playing. I was like, I like this game like a lot, and I was really, really caught in the story, you know. But yeah, so all right, let's talk about this. Like, I'm excited about this next question. So Nintendo tweeted out a picture of Mario sitting down eating a watermelon. People got very excited because they mentioned a little bit in the word that it was going to be a Summer Odyssey, and then at the very end they said Sunshine, and people got very excited and started speculating that it's possible maybe a new Mario Odyssey game, a new Sunshine game, or possibly a remake. I turned around and asked everybody what you guys thought, and some people are actually just saying that it's just a goodbye summer type image. Other people are saying that it's actually to get us prepared for their Nintendo Direct that might be coming in September. I want to know what you guys think of this situation. What do you think? Do you think it's just we're just making it bigger than what it really is because it's Nintendo, or do you think that maybe they are hinting at something? So let's start with Remy.
I think it's the biggest troll Nintendo's done in a while. I think it's one of those that's to get everybody buzzing because the holidays are around the corner. So they're gonna be buzzing Nintendo. Oh, this new game's gonna come out. You know, Odyssey's coming out or Sunshine's coming out. They're gonna have like these new expansions, and it's like, oh man, I haven't played the first 2, or no, you should totally buy them. You know, the holidays are coming up, and the Switch Lights just came out, so that would be a good present to get the kids. Get the Switch and get this and get this game, get this game. Yeah. Nintendo, all buzzed from a single picture because people are speculating and starting to talk about it. And when it comes around that these games aren't being released or they're not in development or anything like that, Nintendo's gonna go, psych! So, but if they do, then it's gonna be like, everyone's gonna be like, oh, I told you so! And they got basically free advertisement out of a little teaser picture.
Yeah.
But I think Nintendo's trolling.
Gosh.
Kazoo, what do you think, man?
Gosh, I would love for it to be like maybe like a sequel to Mario Sunshine. That would be really cool. Like the Mario Odyssey like vendor, you know, like all that. I mean, obviously it wouldn't be the Sunshine vendor because that's like old, you know, tech. But it would be really cool because I've never personally played Sunshine, so I think it'd be really cool. Or if they like remastered it, they could do that. You know, and it's also interesting. Spawn Wave, who I know he has some sort of inside sources or something. He tweeted out like Mario Sunshine is a good game. Like, I don't know. Why would he? I don't know. Maybe that's reading too far into things, but
I think that was just Spawn Wave being Spawn Wave.
What?
I think that was Spawn Wave being Spawn Wave.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong, but
no, for sure.
I mean, he has on his face. He has two watermelon seeds. Why else would he have two watermelon seeds on his face? Am I right?
Well, that's why they're getting down to that. Like, you got two different, but the thing is, like, it says like a Summer Odyssey, and at the very bottom is like Sunshine. So here's the thing. Maybe it's not. Maybe people are looking into it too much. Maybe it's not sequels or a remake, or maybe it's just DLC that's be coming out. And for all we know, it's like all of a sudden it's DLC for Odyssey that you go to wherever the Sunshine place was. You know,
I think all these people that are looking for like the Smash Bros. Like symbol in these pictures are getting bored and they need something else to like stare at. Because like that Shantae picture came out and it had like the Smash symbol in like the pirate ship window, and it's like, dude, that's just a window, that's not smashed. And they're like, no, it's totally smashed. I'm like, okay, whatever.
But,
now it's the, you know, the Mario thing, and it's like it's just a cool picture, guys. And they're like, no, it's totally this. It's like they're like, I'm just sipping my tea, guys.
Okay, but however, there is that whole like Isle Delfino in Mario Odyssey that was like found, and like, okay, maybe it's just a reference, but it was in Mario Odyssey, and it kind of wouldn't surprise me if they just kind of, because everybody was saying like, oh, this is gonna be a Mario Sunshine Kingdom in Mario Odyssey, and everyone was saying that pretty much from the beginning, and now like they could pull a Splatoon and put that in the second game, because if you remember, the Octolings were found in some kind of data mine or something in Splatoon 1 to be like playable.
Yeah.
But that never happened in Splatoon 1, but it did happen in Splatoon 2.
Well,
so
I just put the image up for everybody who doesn't know what's happening. There's the tweet out. Even Mario needs a little summer vacation, no matter where your summer odyssey took you. We hope it was a filled with sunshine. So there you go. He's eating a watermelon and he's at the beach, and there it is. No, for sure.
Your cat is so cute.
And I agree with you 100%. I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. Steffi, what are your thoughts?
So I'm in the opposition. I don't think it's anything. So, and my reasoning for this is it's not abnormal for a company to use, you know, their own imagery. Mario's their property. It's like their number one face for their company. Using terms like Odyssey, Sunshine, it's still promoting games that they're still getting revenue off of. Of course, they're going to continue to prompt those. Sunshine, not so much. It's like, whatever. But Odyssey, it's still out there. It's still a console seller. People are still interested. So they're like, hey, don't forget, you know, Mario Odyssey's a thing. Summer's ending. There's no reason to promote it that way for Sunshine now that we're ending summer. Now, if we were going into 2020 and starting to talk about vacations and stuff, I could see it. So I don't think it's anything. I think it's just, you know, Nintendo putting out images of their own stuff, saying, hey, I hope you had a great summer. Have fun going back to school. But by the way, we have a ton of stuff coming out. We have Zelda, we have Pokemon, we have Luigi, we have so many things, like big hitters. I don't think they're ready to announce anything for Odyssey quite yet.
For sure. Chadley, what do you think, buddy?
Yeah. So when I saw that post, I was like, I kind of figured. Look, I've seen that picture before. So this picture was released on the My Nintendo site on Japan, through Japan. So if you had a Japan account, I'm assuming, like, if we were to create a Japan Nintendo account for our Switch, like, you could log into My Nintendo with that account. You could go to the section where it has the desktop backgrounds. That's one of the desktop backgrounds that they released. And that was like a couple months ago. Never released it out in the US. So if you go to the My Nintendo site, you won't see it anywhere on there as a desktop background. So of course, obviously, they're repurposing this image for this tweet, which I feel is nothing more than a troll. If anything comes out of it, it's going to be DLC for Odyssey.
Yeah.
I don't see them remastering a Mario game, because the only time they ever did that was on the Super Nintendo with Super Mario All-Stars.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the only time.
No, for sure, 100%.
No. I'm sure if they had enough interest, if they have enough, because the only games that Nintendo has ever really cared about making HD remasters of is Zelda.
Yeah,
That's true. But
Yep.
they have to know that.
Oh yes, I'm not
people
saying that
want
it would be a
sunshine.
bad thing.
They know. Their finger is more on the pulse with the Switch than ever before. I would say. Than ever before in recent years.
Yeah. Now, yeah, I'm sure if Nintendo gets enough interest and people like Spawnwave or any of the other larger content creators that Nintendo is keeping an eye on, if they're the ones that are causing enough buzz about something, maybe Nintendo would consider it. But if anything, I would see that they would want to try to bring back some breath of life back into Odyssey, if anything, especially with all of the things that are happening now with the Switch Lite, the possibility of a more powerful Switch still in the buzz, even though they're like denying it, it's going to happen. And with all of those things happening, what better way than to say, oh, we're going to offer this free DLC, or even paid, like just a cheap paid DLC to add to Odyssey, because people have played it long enough. It's been out for a while now.
Yep.
And either they come out with Odyssey 2, which includes something from Sunshine, which is also a very possibility, because the 2 watermelon seeds could mean Odyssey 2,
Yeah.
Or it could just be where the seeds are placed on the watermelon if you put the watermelon up to his face. And when he takes a bite, there was seeds there.
Okay.
I think what we're missing here is, if you count the seeds, I believe there's 6 seeds. If you divide those 6 seeds, it turns into 3. So what does that mean? Half-Life 3 confirmed. There it is.
Right. It's a Nintendo Switch exclusive too. So.
It is.
Not even on Steam.
Switch
Not even on Steam.
Half-Life 3.
For sure, though. No.
Yeah.
Keep going,
I think it's just nothing more than and obviously they were smart about it. They wanted they wanted to make a buzz about something, and they perfectly put this out there, knowing full well that the Nintendo community is just going to go nuts with it. They're just going to cause a ton of buzz. They're going to get their name out there even more than they already have, especially with all the new stuff that's going to be coming out in the coming months. And I think it was nothing more than a marketing ploy. They trolled everybody, but you're still going to go buy their stuff.
No, for sure.
Just say, I would love to work for their PR, for their social media team. They do a great. They've been doing a great job lately. I really like how their strategies.
They know how to do it. They know how to tickle.
They've definitely changed it up since the Wii U. So either they hired a whole nother company that does all their PR stuff, and they fired the guys that did the Wii U, and that's what it seems.
Was it that bad?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because I don't know if they did. I don't know. I'm just saying it seems that way, that whoever was handling the marketing for the Wii U
you're probably
did a terrible job marketing that thing.
It was
when it first came out. Well, Remy, like when it first came out, like a lot of people didn't even know that it was coming. 2, a lot of people thought it was just an add-on to the Wii.
Wow, really?
They thought the game, because the whole thing was the gamepad. They were selling the gamepad hard. They were saying like, oh, the Wii U, you'll be able to play
the new controller.
Exactly. Like, this is coming with a new controller, and you'll be able to play your old Wii games, which is confusing in itself because Nintendo's never been backwards compatible except for that time where they did a little bit of GameCube backwards compatibility with the Wii, which then they removed. And so it was just a whole mess of like people not really knowing what it was and didn't really buy into it. And so, and then it was too late when they tried to fix it. It was too late. And then when the Switch came along, their marketing for that was so different. Like, they had to have hired new people.
Right. You're definitely right.
Or had a younger crowd of.
They should hire the person that does the Arby's.
Maybe they did.
Wendy's.
The guy that does the Wendy's Twitter. Woo!
Wendy's. Yes, Wendy's Twitter game is on point. And I actually just read an article about the woman who's behind it. Her name's Amy Brown.
Yep.
So.
All right, so let's get into a little bit more serious conversation here. We talked about how leaks and things like that can get you in trouble. So a YouTuber was showing off leaks on Borderlands 3. That is his channel. His channel is all about Borderlands, and he was focusing on leaking some stuff out on Borderlands on his channel. He got a knock on his door, and 2 PIs, so private investigators, showed up saying they're representing 2K Games and Gearbox. Okay, so after that happened, it basically he said that they talked to him and said they had information from him that he had been selling some stuff on Discord, basically offering people, if they paid his membership, his $5 membership, he would give them exclusive leaks from Borderlands 3. So he was selling information, and Discord did take out his server, so he's no longer on Discord. On top of that, 2K did contact him and told him to stop, that they were gonna deal with him. And he came out and said that it was all fake, that it was not true. He did not do anything. And 2K and Gearbox did come out and they did say that that he was falsifying everything and he was lying. He was saying untruths. No. Their word was that he was saying untruths, and that they did have proof that he was actually paying someone on the inside. So I'm assuming someone in their company for these leaks. Right? No. So he was actually paying to get the leaks. And he was saying that no, he wasn't paying anybody. So 2K just basically left it at that, and they were dealing with each other. And then he turned around and deleted his Twitter. But he said he deleted his Twitter because he didn't want to face the wrath from other people. But then a week later, he turns around and not only deletes his Twitter, but he decided to delete his YouTube account. So now people are saying he deleted it. It didn't get banned. He deleted it. So now people are saying that maybe he wasn't telling the truth to begin with, and he did have more and was doing more with the information that he was just doing YouTube. Now people are arguing that he has the right to be a journalist. And on the other side, people are saying that what he was doing is super illegal and that he should pay for the consequences, knowing that he was paying someone to get information, and then he was going out of his way to bring this information out and trying to get people to pay him for extra information. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think that he was actually hiding something? And do you think that there should be repercussions for what he was doing? So let's start with Remy for this one.
First off, I'm just over here sipping my coffee because that sounds like nothing but a lot of drama, you know?
It's a lot of drama.
Just saying. Second of all, that goes back with the whole leaking with the dev kit thing. I hope it was worth it. you know, because now you just ruined your reputation. You earned everything that, you know, you were making money on, you know. And third of all, it's like, did you not think you were going to get caught? You know. Fourthly, it's like, fake information or not, you know, people could be like, okay, well, that was really smart of him, you know, to basically like, it'd be like, shh, give me $5 and I'll let you have like this exclusive access to this game that millions of people are going to see later, but you get firsthand. You know, it's like, okay, so if it was the actual information, why wasn't he asking for like more money? You know? Yeah. So why wasn't he like gold mining that? Because that kind of sounds like someone's kind of reaching a little bit just to get people to subscribe, because, you know, there's people out there like that does that. But yeah, the biggest part, and I think it goes back to what I previously said, you didn't think you were going to get caught. There's laws against that. This is why, you know, and then the person that was actually leaking the information, I hope the money was worth it if they were getting paid, if this is all true. I hope it was worth it, because they just lost their job, they just lost their reputation, they just lost, you know, being able to go work for another company. So I'm gonna stay out of that, and I'm just gonna sip my coffee and let Kazoo go after me.
and hey, look, like here's how I look at it. If you're talking about journalism, let's take a look at IGN for a minute. Like, when leaks come out, they always say they got the information from this website. So they're kind of protecting themselves. They're just reporting on what they found on a website, or somebody's YouTube mentioned this leak, right? So I feel that that's different from what this guy was doing with paying for information and then bringing it out first. I feel there's a big difference between that versus how I would go out and say, oh, well, Remy said that this is coming out soon, and I'm now just reporting on what you said. I'm not saying that I said it or anything, right? But yeah, so Kazoo, what are your thoughts on this situation, this ugly situation?
Sorry, Kazoo.
It sounds like a whole big mess. That would be scary. I'm just kind of imagining what that would be like. Like, somebody like comes to your door, like finds out your location, which probably isn't that hard, to be honest. But finds out your, these PIs find out your location, and they come, they come and like track you down, and like that's pretty scary.
No, for sure.
So I can understand why he deleted his YouTube account and his Twitter account and his Discord server.
Yeah,
I guess he didn't delete his Discord server, but
no, Discord deleted it. That's the thing though. Like, Discord is the one who knocked it out, and they're the ones who turned around and said to 2K that he was selling that stuff, and they have proof apparently. That's what 2K is saying. They have the proof.
I bet they do have proof.
Because I believe it 100%. I believe it 100%.
Discord chat logs, for
yeah,
sure.
Exactly. You know, Stephie, what are your thoughts on this situation, this ugly situation?
I'm ready for this one. So, with this situation, I know that they said that this was a 10-month investigation, you guys. This was going on forever. 10-month investigations means there's something going on. Otherwise, case would have been closed a long time ago. With that said, you know, like, if you're claiming, hey, he was just doing his journalism and all that, with real journalism, there's fact-checking involved. You can't fact-check a rumor. It's not going to be published. So there's certain aspects to true journalism that he's not approaching with this. You can't use that as your defense. And, you know, when you're saying like private investigators, yeah, it sounds scary. But what they're doing, they're coming out there because, I mean, obviously it wasn't something that could be resolved in email. He was probably either neglecting to respond, not giving them good information, trying to send it off somewhere else. So they're like, we got to send somebody out there. So they go out to get information. They're not saying, hey, cease and desist or whatever that is. They're not doing that. That's not their job. They're not the lawyers. They're just getting information. They're going out to talk to this guy. He is claiming, or what he did claim, is that he found this information on Reddit, that there was links to from a Reddit account to a Twitch account where he didn't have access to the content, but he had access to the thumbnails, and that's what he was using. If that's the case, don't you think a lot more people would have found this if it was on Reddit?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
There's so many gaps in this where it's like you're just showing yourself that you're guilty. And in the end of it, we all know that when you're going into leaks, if leaks is your business, you know the type of scenarios you're getting into. You've done your research. You know where that line is drawn. He knows where that line is drawn, which is why he's saying, like, oh, I understand. I'm an adult. What I did was stupid. You knew that from the beginning. Yes,
Mhm.
you probably did get paid for this information. You probably did pay somebody for this information. And you just backed yourself into a corner. What were you doing? You know this. You can't sit here and defend yourself on this one. And it even said, like, there was one interesting thing I found, though, is the 2K games. They actually upped into their terms of service, which was updated in April, the same time that this information kind of came to light. So I thought that was kind of strange, but they updated their stuff for their pre-release footage that said that no pre-release leaked footage of any kind, any posting of in-game footage from leaked copies of the game prior to its official release date will be taken down, regardless of how the game was obtained. This includes early unboxing videos. So it's like, I'm sure there was something there. They've obviously cleaned it up a little bit to be a little bit more concise, but it's interesting that they're saying, regardless, it's just going to be shut down. They probably don't want to do more than that. But if you're not going to be willing to work with them and say, hey, this is where I went, this is how I got the information, that's when you're getting yourself into trouble. And that's what I think he did in this case.
Definitely. See, we come down again. If someone, not every email is fake. And I mean, if you're not sure what to do, give them a response anyways. Hey, let me contact you in a little bit. Let me process this, whatever, because the more you stay quiet, the more in trouble you get into.
Yeah, true.
That's how it usually works. Chadley, what are your thoughts on all this?
Well, this is the first I've heard of this because I don't like follow this type of news and stuff. But yeah, so it's like the first time I've heard of it. But yeah, just by hearing what everybody's saying and what's going on, it's like I said in the chat, it's hashtag hot mess. It's been a long time since I've been able to say that, and this is a perfect time for me to say that. So,
Yep.
But I mean, again, like when you get into this kind of stuff, again, if what Stephie's saying is, if it was going on for 10 months and news about it is just now coming out, that means they're close to being done with their investigation. They've got enough information to basically put this guy away. And I mean, obviously this guy's been dealing with it for a while too.
Yeah.
They're not, I mean, if they're investigating it for 10 months, they're not going to investigate for 10 months and not try to contact him about it. So
Yeah.
obviously, since Discord was the first one to take action, it makes it seem like that was their first spot to check, because if he was getting leaked information, Discord's an easy place to leak it out and have it be only shown to a select number of people.
That's yeah.
And Discord would know this. They shut it down because that's how he was maybe showing other people this information, because obviously you put it up on YouTube, YouTube's going to see it right away, or they're going to be aware of it almost right away, because if 2K or Gearbox probably has things in the YouTube system for Borderlands 3, because for claims and stuff like that, because it's not even out yet, so they would want to protect themselves, so they probably have YouTube scanning videos for that kind of content. But yeah, I mean, it's just a huge mess, and it sucks that there's people like this that feel like they can just get away with it, and obviously they can't. So
Yeah,
this guy's sounds like he's going to go either going to get in a big lawsuit where he's going to have to pay out, or might even do some jail time for it. So
for sure. And that's the thing, it's sad because like he had like 100,000 plus subscribers. He wasn't small.
Really?
He wasn't a tiny first timer. He knew what he was doing. The only response he gave was that the allegations were fake and that he's not going to support Borderlands 3 anymore. But it's like, I don't think if that was the case, yeah, I mean, you wouldn't, like somebody said, like the guy I watch, Rich from Review Tech, he said it very plain and simply. If you have anything, if you were innocent to begin with, why would you delete your channel?
Exactly. Your channel with 100.
And he showed the difference. Like when YouTube bans deletes your channel, it says that they do it because they weren't following guidelines, but it said the user deleted the channel. So he's like, he deleted it. He goes, why?
Conscience.
Yeah, exactly what he said. He goes, and Rich was for him. He was like, I was backing you up for a long time, saying, hey, this isn't right. You should be allowed to do journalism. And he goes, but the fact that you deleted your account, he goes, how am I gonna believe you? Your credibility is down the drain now because of that. So and it sucks. It sucks because apparently he was a really cool YouTuber and he did a really good job. And yeah, I mean, oh well, you got to be careful, right? What you report on, what you do. Anyways, let's keep going because there's some other craziness that's going on in the gaming world. So I know, right? So Microsoft contractors have been listening to audio recording from your Kinect, and apparently they said this is just I guess like an error that was happening. They did something, and turns out that they had tons of audio that was coming from the Kinect. What I want to know is, how do you feel about this? And what happened to what Microsoft came out and said when they said Kinect for Xbox was designed and built with strong privacy protection in place, and the new Kinect will continue with this commitment? What the heck, Xbox? So let's start with Mama Remy.
I was actually talking with Blur about this earlier, and he gave like this really long explanation, and it's like I could repeat it, but it's been force-fed information, so I'll just answer my way. It's like, okay, I have a Google Home Mini sitting like 6 feet that way, so and I stood there right in front of it, and I'm like, okay, and then it's like it didn't answer, and I was like, Google, and I have my phone sitting right here, so it's not gonna say anything, and then I'm gonna go, okay, Google, okay, there, my phone just went off. Okay, so if you like Google. Yeah, it's not working. So it has to listen for when you say, okay, Google. And then there's actual people on the other end that, sometimes the computer can't understand your accent. So sometimes actual humans have to listen to see what you want and then feed it in. That's sometimes why it's thinking. So, it's not always going to be a computer at the opposite end, but it always has to listen. It's like when you go into your Google settings, anytime that you use the voice command, like when you actually ask Google to be like, oh hey, can you show me a picture of this, you can actually go in your settings and hear anytime that you ask Google something, and there's a pause right before you actually ask Google anything, so it's always listening, but that's the case with any type of audio device in your house, in your car. It has the ability to listen. It can be hacked, it can be used, it can be recorded, so I'm never mean to my Google. I'm very nice to my Google. Be very mean to it. I don't, because when Skynet takes over, I want them to realize that I was nice.
Exactly.
You be nice to technology. You never know. It could be a Decepticon or an Autobot. They will know. So I apologize for my phone when I drop it. but on a serious note, there's always going to be some type of listening if there's a mic attached to something. That's just, there's always going to be an invasion of privacy somehow, some way, either by hackers, by the company that made it, by other people, that put like bugs in your house or listening devices. I mean, even if you don't have any mics or anything capable of like that, there's still going to be something somewhere. So there's never going to be a safe place to talk about anything, or a safe place where you're not actually being listened to or not being watched, or even your internet activity is being watched. So is that invasion of privacy there? So it's like, where does it stop? Where does it start? What should you actually be upset about? You could be upset about them listening in, but at the same time, Google listens in on you all the time. Alexa listens in to you all the time. Your phone listens to you all the time. Where do you actually stop being upset about that and start being upset about the fact that it happens around you more often than just the Kinect on the on the Xbox?
I think the whole thing with them is that they thought it's a console and we're safe, but I don't know. What do you think, Kazoo?
It's just, I just think all of that type of stuff is creepy in general. Like your phone is listening. If you have one of those like Google Homes or Amazon Echo, whatever it's called, um, that all of those things are always listening to you. And I mean, I'm sure your computers are probably listening to you too. Like so Microsoft can, if you don't have a Kinect or an Xbox, Microsoft will listen to you that way. And I don't like the invasion of privacy. I'm like very
No, for sure.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Stephie, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, for me, it doesn't bother me at all. Because, like, we've already known that things like, kind of like Remy was saying, with like Google, Alexa, Siri, they're always listening. It's not a secret. They activate on accident. We do it all the time. Like, I'll be talking about something completely irrelevant, not even saying their name, but certain tones sound like those words, and it picks up on it and starts talking. Happens all the time. What I dug a little bit into this, and I was like, okay, so what do they do with these sound clips? Because I think that's what a lot of people are not focusing on. And one important thing I found is that they de-identify the person that's on that other end. So when they're getting this, it's not like, oh, Stephie from this area is talking about this. It's like, hey, here's a voice clip. This is what it is. And they're listening to it to see what people are looking for. They're trying to do improvements. It's basically a quality assurance tool.
Yeah.
So they can figure out what people want. Because people will be like, hey, will you go make me noodles? Okay, it's not going to make me noodles. But now people know that, that's kind of what they're wanting. It's like, okay, now we know that this is what you're asking for. Maybe we can find a way to make this work in some way or another. It's very normal. And you're walking into this, buying a service that's making your life simpler. You know this. You know it can be used for more. You can easily say, I'm not going to buy it. I'm just going to have my house with no smart things at all. But you are choosing to buy these things knowing that they are meant for convenience, knowing that they have to listen to you to do this. Yep. So it's nothing new. I mean, even when you call into like the call center, they always tell you these calls are being recorded for quality purposes, for training purposes. You don't know what's happening on that other end, but it's being used for something to better their services. Why is this any different? It's not really an invasion of privacy. I mean, unless me talking about my sushi yesterday is super convenient and entertaining to you, I don't see a problem. I have nothing to hide, like, for real, guys.
It's not just something to hide, I would say. It's just like, it's just creepy, like, to have them,
but if it's not identifying you, what's the problem? There's nothing to hide and it doesn't know that it's you. There's nothing to worry about.
I'm used to not having any privacy, so if Google wants to listen in, they're just one of the kids. Go right ahead.
I don't believe that they're not identifying you with that somehow. Like, maybe they're not identifying you like right now, but you can't tell me that it's not like archived somewhere and it has like your location at least attached to it.
Well, who knows? Chadley, what are your thoughts?
It's just, I mean, every time something like this comes out, it's always for a different device, a different thing. People are always freaked out because there are people out there that are like super hesitant and like super protective of their privacy and stuff. But if you really boil it down, the common person who just does the day-to-day stuff and just tries to live out their lives really don't care.
Yep.
And there's no reason to care. Like, again, like Remy said, if they want to listen to your conversations where you're trying to discipline your kids, go right ahead. Maybe they'll learn something. I don't know. I mean, come on. Like, really. I mean, the whole idea of, I mean, obviously, yes. Whenever we're searching on the web, who do you think gets that information? Yes, it is sort of anonymous, but again, it's still information you're inputting into the system. It's information that they're using to better tailor, and especially nowadays. Back when the internet was new, none of this stuff existed. None of the analytics and like the super smart computer language that takes your information and basically can do whatever it wants with it without a person being there reading that information. The computers have come that far that it's like there's algorithms now that handle your search results. Like, it knows what to do with it, and this is all being created by Google, obviously, but again, like there's a million different devices now that listen to you. There's so much audio information that's being processed on a daily basis.
Yep.
Who cares? I mean, like, I always laugh when I see stuff like this because it's like, you're already probably doing this with another device, and you're not complaining about that one.
Yeah, another device, but they didn't they like guarantee that or didn't Microsoft like guarantee that no one was doing that?
Well, I mean, everybody does that. Everyone claims that they don't take your information and use it for X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
But there's
Exactly,
always there's always A, B, and C that they are doing with your information. So it's like always that gray area where you can promise some things, but there's always loopholes around that. And I mean, it sucks that somebody is like, yeah, if someone at Microsoft is taking the information from the Kinect and is like doing something with it that's not meant to be done, where it is like a huge invasion of privacy, then that person or people should be dealt with accordingly by Microsoft. Because if they're the ones making the promises, they should be the ones cleaning up their mess too.
Yeah, for sure.
So if someone's doing something wrong, Microsoft takes care of it. They should. And if they turn a blind eye, then shame on them. But like, if they get my information, I really don't care. They're not going to learn much from me other than I like video games. I stream on YouTube. I have a family of 5 kids and a wife, and like there's nothing that no one else wouldn't already know. So I'm not hiding anything. So why should I care if they're using my information? But I guess I don't know. That's everybody. That's with anybody though, not just Microsoft. So
no, for sure. All right, so it's just funny, like the panic that goes in. All they said was they have acquired a bunch of audio, and it doesn't say any private information. It says they just have a bunch of audio that's been recorded, and they didn't realize it was being recorded. I mean, people hit the fan, but oh well, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, it's
it
not
happened.
like anything malicious was happening.
Exactly. So in brighter news, Sony has acquired Insomniac Games. They are the makers of games like Ratchet and Clank, Resistance, Spider-Man, Spyro for the PS1. And what can we expect, and how do you feel now that they are going to be owned by Sony? Do you think this is a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Do you think we're going to get better quality games? Or is this just a way of Sony just trying to keep more, what do you call it, first-party games on their console now? So let's go ahead and start with Remy.
I think Sony owning anything is a bad thing because they get their little hands on anything and then they get their little grip into it and they don't ever let go and they hold on to it until it bleeds to death and then it's no good anymore. But I'm mad because Sony won't release certain people into certain movie, universes and let go so the movies can be, developed by other people and made great again instead of being remade over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, basically bleeding it to death and not giving it the proper,
kind of a different situation.
Well, I know, but they're going to do the same thing with the games. They acquire the games and no one else can do anything with them and they're going to release the games over and over and over and over and over again and bleed them to death and then they're not going to be special anymore.
Yeah.
So Sony owning them is going to be, to me, is a bad thing. They might be better than what they used to be before. They might be able to have the backing of the budget to make the game great, or the games, if they do remake them, great. Maybe they'll re-release them, so you can enjoy them on a current platform if you never got to play them beforehand. And that might be great. But Sony has a habit of getting a hold of something and bleeding it until it dries, and then they bury it, and then they don't let anyone else have it. It's like, no, it's fine. You can't have it. Yeah. And I hate that. So.
Yeah. Yellow, what about you?
No marks now.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, like Remy said, they have a bigger budget, but I can understand. I can kind of understand what she's saying about potentially just re-releasing the games over and over again, but we don't know if that's gonna happen. So if it doesn't happen and everything is like okay, then
I mean, a perfect example of a game being released over and over again. I mean, we got Metal Gear Solid, the collector's edition on PS3, and then PS4 came out, and then they did it again for the PS4, right? So I don't know. I see where Remy's coming from when it comes to that. Final Fantasy was released on the PS3 and then re-released again on the PS4, and then re-released on the PS Pro because it was now gonna be 4K.
And now on the Switch.
Oh, and now on the Switch. What about you, Stephie? What are your thoughts about this?
So I'm fine with this. Like, honestly, a lot of these franchises started as PlayStation exclusives, like Ratchet and Clank. So it's not that they've never been working with Sony to begin with. Like, these games were, in a sense, directed by Sony. Sony's going to say, we want these games to be at this caliber. They know what Sony wants. And because of this, we're going to probably get more games, whether it be re-releases or just a frequency of these games that we like coming out a little bit more. Because we know that Sony likes to put the pressure. They're saying, you know what, you're a great developer, but we want this at Q4. Like, they are very hard on their dates. They don't care. They are going to push you to do it.
Yeah.
But I think one thing that I took away from this that I found really great is that they're not closing the management with Insomniac Games. The current management team is actually going to continue to run the studio. So they're still going to be very hands involved from the original creators. Like, they're still going to be there. They're still going to be running it. But basically, Sony's going to be the overseer. That's really what's happening here. And so I don't think we're going to see a lot of negative impact come out of this, being that they are still involved.
Yeah, no, for sure. What about you, Mr. Chadley? What are your thoughts on all this?
I mean, it seems kind of suspicious that they buy Insomniac Games and then now they're pulling Spider-Man. So, I mean, it was already exclusive game. The first one, the first Spider-Man was already an exclusive for the PS4, but it almost just makes it seem like they're buying Insomniac so that there's no chance of Spider-Man ever being put on another console.
Yeah.
That's like one of the reasons I could see them doing this. Obviously, there's other games like Ratchet and Clank and Spyro. Now, if there's any new Spyro games that come out, it probably won't be on any other consoles. It'll probably just be PlayStation exclusive. Ratchet and Clank will be PlayStation exclusive. Anything that Insomniac Games makes from here on out will most likely be PlayStation exclusive, just because Sony owns the company now. So, yeah, it'd be awesome if they would allow Spider-Man to be on other consoles, but I don't see that happening. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's a business decision for them. I mean, that's them, I think, just ensuring that this company doesn't actually start developing games for other consoles.
Yeah.
Or having it be multi-platform, because we already know Sony doesn't like cross-platform on a lot of things. So it's just another way of them solidifying that they want to keep things in-house.
Yeah, for sure.
So
no, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And that I know that's how I kind of feel about this. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I like Sony. I like what they release. They release a lot of good games. I'm not gonna say they don't, but I feel that they're always so it's us and us only, and don't worry about. I mean, look at what Nintendo did recently. You can use your Xbox control on their Switch now. Like, some people feel more comfortable with using their 360 control rather than this Pro control. That's awesome. That was really awesome. That was smart of them to do that.
I think that was a troll, Rigo.
Yeah, that was a rumor, I thought.
Well, no, actually, it was actually... Yeah. I was looking that up before I wanted to announce it, and Nintendo did say, yeah, they're working on something.
Oh, really?
But, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I thought that was just
the original.
The original one was a troll. That's why I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about it, but yeah.
Wow.
So I was very surprised. I thought that's really cool. It's just another like hint at what I'm saying is partnership, right? Or the Banjo-Kazooie thing with Smash, right?
Oh yeah.
These are partnerships. But then you turn around and you get Mr. Sony, who seems that they don't really like to play partners. You know, I don't know if it's about money with them. I don't know if maybe they just feel more comfortable working in-house. But a lot of
Sony and Nintendo, they both come from Japan, unlike Microsoft. They are direct competitors in their own country. It's going to make sense that they're not going to want to work hand in hand together.
Yeah.
They're really trying to keep that separate. Whereas Microsoft's here in the US, so they're like, hey, let's work with that Japanese company. It's going to be really good for us. It's a little bit different in that sense, I think.
Yeah, maybe that's the whole situation. I mean, we already know they Nintendo and Sony already had it falling out anyways from the beginning when Sony was just getting into consoles. For all we know, that's still a big grudge, and they still don't want nothing to do with it. Who knows? You know, who knows? But it is what it is. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into this guy right here. This one's a little bit more of a delicate situation here, but we're just gonna stay away from the political section of it and more the positive of the conversation. So about a week ago, the president came out, maybe 2 weeks ago, the president came out and blamed video games for video game violence, for all the mass shootings and all type of violence that have been happening in the world. I feel that games cause these issues. That's what he said. Okay. So he basically turned around and said that he feels that it's the games causing the issues. Do you think it's just the misinformed attacking what they don't understand? Or do you think that maybe people, just because they hate video games, always look on jumping on them? Or do you think there's a little bit of truth to it? So let's jump into Remy first.
I have a lot to say about this. Okay, first off, there's violence in everything. There's violence in, movies, there's violence in TV shows. Even if there is no violence, there's still, not everything is completely family friendly. You have to learn what is good and what is bad some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Yes, there is violence in video games, but there's also violence in, as I said earlier, TV shows, there's movies. You see violence when you play, like when you go out and you decide and you play sports, like you play baseball, and that's supposed to be like a competitive thing. People get smacked in the face, with a ball, not on purpose. You can get smacked upside the face with a bat, you can get hit, on accident, but that is still considered violence, and you see that and you process that, that, oh, that's not good, you say, oh, I'm sorry, and you go about that. But the thing with video games is that there's a lot of people nowadays that use video games as a babysitter because they don't want to have to deal with, what, they just don't want to deal. It's like, here, go play this video game. It's like, okay, I don't care what you're playing as long as you're quiet and you just play it. But there's so much good that comes out of video games. It's like, okay, look, you can play this video game, but you have to understand that this is fake, that this is not real, and you can't actually do these things to these people. But, if your kids or, even adults understand that, then it should, it's fine. But there's so much good that can come out of video games, even just taking away the violence, I wasn't very good at math in high school and I struggled with it. I got like F's and D's in math class until my stepsister, actually taught me how to do math, and she took video games and actual metal music. And she's like, okay, well, Johnny has, 7 Korn CDs, and, Abe has like 6 Metallica CDs, and they have to do this with the CDs, so what happens? Or like, your Warlock and WoW dies, but they have, 6 soul shards, and they've got like 3 this and da-da-da, like, how are you gonna do it? I was like, oh, well, because I have this, it was something that connected to me, so I easily got it, and that was the thing with my son, is he was having trouble reading. So because he wanted to start playing these games that, had a lot of words in it, I was like, well, you're going to have to learn how to read in order to play these games. So when I was playing a certain game and he wanted to come in, he was grounded. He wanted to come in and watch me. And I was like, okay, if you're going to sit here and watch me, you're going to read this on the screen. Well, I don't want to. If you want to watch, you're going to read this on the screen. All right. So I helped, it helped with his reading, with him reading the big words, on my computer screen. And I got to spend a little extra time with him. And then now, like, he visits some of my streamer friends, and it's like, I can't believe he knows how to, his spelling's atrocious sometimes, but I can't believe he actually knows how to type and write like that and read like that. And he'll read things. It's like, holy crap, where'd you learn that? And he goes, well, I was playing this game and this and this and this and this. And I was like, what? So, and then when you go into like games that have like currency, you have to so many people manage their currency in end games a lot better than they do their actual currency in real life.
Yep.
So, but then you also go down to, if you take away all that, there's people out there that do charity events for, kids, like Extra Life, or that do like tournaments, and then they do like scholarships. And there's some people that can't actually do like actual sports, but they're really good at, what we consider esports nowadays. So you can get into like stuff like that and earn a scholarship to be able to go to school, so there's so much good that comes from video games, even though people are so controlled on this tiny little subject, of violence. But it's like looking at like bacon. Bacon's supposedly bad for your health, but bacon's really good. But if it's, just, okay, I'm hungry now and I'm gonna get off on a rant, so.
What do you think, Kazoo?
Well, I mean, it's just like any other thing, like, okay, so I found what Remy was saying about like being a babysitter. So there's this website called the Babylon Bee, and it's really funny, like, satirical articles. And the article was like, video games blamed for the rise in like hastily constructed forts that are left abandoned or something like that. So like obviously like Fortnite. But it was really funny because it's like, it was like taking a hit at that, and then within the article they're like, I really think it's the parents who are to blame. It's not video games. And so it's like you need to teach your kid, and you also need a lot of, mental health is, I think, a big part of why bad things happen. And like it's like a heart issue, not anything external. But also at the same time, it's like, well, if you're having, because it's not video games specifically that are blamed, but like gruesome video games, like really, like, I don't know. So I don't know. It's just evil in, evil out is one thing that I've heard, but it's kind of a difficult topic
to touch upon. Yeah, for sure. Stephie, what do you think?
Yeah, so there's definitely two sides to this, like I don't feel like video games itself is a matter of a place of blame. Like we were talking about, like there's like MMOs out there that, help people interact and create friendships that they may not be able to do in real life because of certain aspects of themselves to where they're uncomfortable or getting to know people, things like that. And then there's other things out there like, the Nintendo Labo that's teaching basics in engineering for kids at a young age, kind of getting them into that groove of kind of like where they can go with this kind of stuff. VR technology developing into the medical industry to kind of help them get a little bit more insight on how to do certain things. And then games like Reader Rabbit out there that we use in school to teach kids how to read or do math or all that stuff. There's a lot of positives out there. On the flip side, there are some really dark and demented games. There's no hiding that. There's some stuff out there that you have to question if it really even should exist. Like, even if it is for entertainment, why is it entertaining? Why do we find that kind of stuff so interesting? And if you get it into the wrong hands, it's not going to be the reason they go out and do something, but it may give them a different idea on how to do something. They might go, oh, I saw it in this, and I'm going to try it this way. Like, so there's a little bit, I can see where they're pulling some of that from. I'm not going to say it's the root of the violence, like not even close. But with all media, like someone was saying earlier, with like, movies, television, music, comic books, whatever, it's when you get the creativity into the wrong hands, they can twist it and manipulate it into something else. you can't blame video games for that though.
Exactly. Chadley,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, this is an age-old thing.
It
Everybody wants to point their finger at something because they need to have a way of explaining to the general public why this is happening. It's easy for them to just point it at whatever is the mainstream thing at the time. Right now, video games are probably, I mean, it's basically ingrained in almost everyone's lives at this point. It's almost looked at as any other type of extracurricular activity that you would do in a daily basis, or just as something as it for enjoyment. Back when we were kids, more me than some of you, but
I'm up there with you, Chadley.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, video games didn't really start to get popular until the 80s, because the games existed in the 70s, but they weren't honestly that great. I mean, because the technology was still in its infancy. By the time it got to the 80s and the 90s, that's when it really started to pick up, and it was something new. Kids were doing it all the time, and parents weren't as involved in it as they are today, because now the kids that played in that time period are now adults still playing, but now they're playing with their kids.
They know.
Yeah, so like, we understand that this is just nonsense, because obviously we grew up in that time. I didn't turn into a mass murderer, and I played video games all the time. I even played some that were violent. Shocker for the family-friendly channel, but yeah, I did. I played. I played Mortal Kombat in the arcades when it first came out. I played violent games, but I never thought that it affected me in a way that I felt like I had to reenact what I'm doing in the video game. Again, like Kazoo said, though, there are people that have mental issues. They have mental disabilities that maybe playing those types of games isn't the best thing for them. But again, you kind of have to know about that. Like, sometimes it is kind of hard to know that, I guess. And when you're when you're a kid playing video games, and the parents realize that there might be something off with their kid when they play those games, that they're like, it's actually changing their mental processes, like processing, because they are still growing, their brains are still developing. There is that chance that that kid's getting affected by the game, but it's the parents' job to make sure that it doesn't go any further.
Exactly.
And help their kids, and not just be like, oh, well, just go play Fortnite because I want to do this.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I don't know. I mean, none of my kids are violent, but yet they play games that have violence in them. They don't play mature games. I mean, League of Legends is probably the most violent game that they play, but it's not like super violent. Like, there's more violence in the chat more so than the actual game itself. So, and they realize that, and they understand that when someone starts talking trash like that, they either mute them or just ignore them, because like, there's no sense in feeding into that. But so yeah, I mean, I've been through this so many times with politicians and stuff saying that games are the reason for the problem, and I don't know. It's good night, love you. So
Mama
yeah,
Duck.
No, for sure.
everybody's saying good night. So so yeah, it's just it's always the same thing, and that's all I have to say about it.
No, for sure. No, and I 100% agree. Like, I mean, let's be real. Anything nowadays causes violence. I mean, yes, there's a lot of mental health. I wouldn't say 100% it's mental illness, because we take a regular person who might just turn around and say, well, there's someone I know that's like, well, I mean, if you mess with me, I'm gonna turn around, go home, grab my gun and shoot you because I have that right. right? And it's like sometimes it's just that they feel they have the right to be able to do that. You're gonna bully me, I'm gonna turn around and shoot you because I have that right. Right? So there's a lot to this situation when it comes to that. Little man, I mean, he's what, 8, almost 8, and he plays no, it doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter if that's not a normal person. I can turn around. I've been angry before and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like I want to kill you so bad, but I'm not gonna do it, right? But I mean, sometimes that limit just gets pushed, and unfortunately they do react to that section of that. Doesn't necessarily mean I have a mental illness. It just means I just happen to freak out for that moment, you know. It's just how it is, you know. Again, you know, sometimes it's not always that situation. 99% of the time, and that's the problem we're facing, because 99% of the time, especially someone who's in the medical field, a lot of people try to use that excuse when they're in jail. Well, I wasn't thinking. I you know, I heard voices, and hence why a lot of the times they just turn around and be like, you know, was that situation? And then that's where they find the best way to just blame the media, or blame, because the media is the one that tells you to be violent. You know, how many times rap songs, I remember when I was younger, every rap song that came out, Eminem, every time he made a song, kill my wife, he was, that's the way he was portraying how much he hated her. You know, it wasn't the right way, but it doesn't mean he's mentally sick. It just means he has such a grudge for this woman. That's what he wants to inflict pain to her, and that's the way he did it. But everybody's turning around saying, hey, you're mentally challenged. You know. And again, we just go into this situation with video games where, like, again, like I was trying to say, little man, he's so young, he's 8, and he's playing, and I hear him get mad. I'll hear him get mad at these kids because they're trolling him, you know. And then I'll mute the thing and I'll talk to him about it. But look, these kids are gonna do it because they think it's funny. This is funny for them. They want to get the rise out of you. I go, but it's up to you to control yourself, you know. And he's like, okay, you're right, Dad. No, you're right. So we go back to, this is about, in a way, catching that early. Parenting, like Mama Remy said. You don't catch that, and you're just gonna hear your kid yell, and you're just like, hey, stop yelling. Well, now you're not gonna find out, why is he yelling? Why are they yelling? Why is that happening? You know? So I mean, it's a mixture of a lot of different things. You need to figure out where it's starting from.
That's
you
true.
know,
Finding the root cause is very important.
exactly. You know, little man was getting mad, and he was like, he turned around and then he'd get mad at his sister and smack her. I'm not gonna turn around and say, well, you have mental illness. No, he thought it's okay to do that. You know, so then turn around and be like, hey, look, no, what you're doing is wrong. Now he doesn't do it because he learned. Okay, I was I was taking it too far, you know, Daddy. No, that's true. But you catch it early enough, you realize early enough. My parents, for a long time, they thought I was gonna go crazy because when I was younger, I was killing my pets. You know, I would have pet rats and I would throw them in the water, and I'd be like, it's funny. You know, I'd stick my hamster inside like Bubblicious gum packages. They were plastic here, and I'd throw them against the wall. I didn't grow up to be a killer. It just, you know, my parents caught it on time, said, no, that's not what you do. You know, so it's a perfect example that it's like when they say killers start at killing animals. Not necessarily. If you catch it and you stop it and you train, you'll be fine. I mean, in the end, I grew up, you know, I have my kids. Things happen like that, and you just gotta catch the root cause. What's causing it? What's happening? You know.
Yeah, it's just catching it is probably the hard part.
Exactly.
For parents, that's what you
I just tell Dread just to smile and be nice to anybody that's trying to be a major, you know, like, you know,
yeah.
Because
well, I mean,
makes them even more mad, and you get back at them 10 times worse than what you would if you gave in to the anger and said something mean.
Exactly, and that's it's like trolls, right? When people are trolling online, and I see some streamers really get mad, and they're just like, you know, I'm sick of you, and then it's like, well, why don't you just get them mad? Like, I see them, they come in and they're like, oh, you're this and this and this. Why? Thank you, I appreciate that. and then
yeah.
they see they don't get a rise out of you, they leave. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It just it's a touchy subject, I'll tell you. Violence in video games, it's a touchy subject.
It really is.
I mean, I've never been tempted to jump on a turtle and throw it at a car and see if the car flips out. You know, so I mean,
yeah. I just thought I might mention it's actually a theory of communication that I learned. But so if you're watching a lot of like violence, it doesn't have to be in video games, like TV, movies, whatever, then there is a positive correlation to seeing the world as a more violent place. So that's, I guess, just something to consider too.
Violence is everywhere. That's at the end of the day, violence is everywhere.
That's a lot with everything though, because
Yeah.
this is kind of going off topic, but like depending on how you are living in your surroundings, what you surround yourself with is a lot of times what you're gonna get back from society. So if you're surrounding yourself with a lot of negativity, that's how it's going to affect you, and eventually you may actually bring that into even more negativity into the world. But if you surround yourself with positivity, a lot of times you'll find that you will be a more positive person because of that.
That's
It's
true.
infectious.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Like I
if
said-
if we are trying to be positive, then we will only bring in positivity. It's like it's infectious, like you guys said.
Yeah.
Positivity will find you if you're positive. You will find it if they are. And if you ignore the negativity, then you just never have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, we come down to the same thing. It's like there is a
Yeah.
lot of people who are gonna be depressed, and you know they get pushed to the edge so much that they just snap and they do bad things. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. Of course that exists. It's there. But we can't just turn around and just blame again, because now we're just blaming mental illness as an issue. I think we just have to, as a whole, have it as a whole. Look, there is violence, and whether it's a mental illness problem or the way they grew up or whatever, we can't just turn around and just blame one media source at the end of the day. I think we should just really be looking at it as a whole. You know, I think that's
I mean, there's many factors that go into why someone does a certain thing.
Exactly.
You know? It could be,
and I mean, like
anything.
humans. Sorry, humans are natural born killers. We've been so since like the dawn of time. We killed for food. We killed for whatever we wanted. You know, like all throughout time. The difference now is we've become civilized. We've tamed ourselves. We've evolved. So it's in our blood to be violent. There's no denying that. But the average person knows how to operate in a day-to-day situation, what is expected in a society to continue to that evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're hitting. So, I mean, it's there. We all have it in us, but we're not necessarily pulling that part of us out anymore.
Exactly. Anyway, so, okay, we have a couple of viewer questions that were asked by Zombie, Red Rover, and Time Jester. So we'll start with Zombie first before we end the stream. He says, have you or the cast considered Fire Emblem? I have thoroughly been enjoying the game. So have any of you guys tried Fire Emblem at all? Mama Remy? No?
I've never tried it, but I've been I've been avoiding the people that have been playing Three Houses because it's like I don't know if I want to play it. I don't know if I'm interested in playing it because I've never played any Fire Emblems. I do know that the one guy that I actually do play in Smash, when I actually do play it, is apparently from Fire Emblem, I think. I'm not sure.
Who do you play in Smash?
Chrom?
Oh yeah, he's from Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like I want to play Fire Emblem, but it's like I don't know if that's like a game that I actually would enjoy playing. So I'm kind of avoiding it. So it's like I don't know. It's a big debate for me right now.
What about you, Kazoo?
you mean Weeb Emblem? No. No, I mean, it's fine if, you know, people like that. But, I'm not personally very interested in Fire Emblem. I'm not really a big RPG person. They just take way too long. Like, I'm already, like, terrible at everything, and it takes me forever to complete anything anyway. So...
That'll just be adding to it, is what you're saying.
Takes too much time.
For sure,
for
for
me
sure.
personally.
Stephie, what about you? Have you played any other Fire Emblems?
I haven't, and I mean, I've always been interested in it since Marth got added to Smash way back in the day. Like, I was like, oh, what is this character? But anytime I've seen it, I'm like, a lot of it's more tactical and stuff like that, which I've never been a super big fan of. And I watched someone recently play Three Houses, and watching it, I was like, I'm bored. This just isn't my type of game. So I'm probably going to skip out on it. I hear it's amazing. I would not discourage anyone from playing it, but I know for myself, it's not the type of game I would enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Chadley, what about you, buddy?
Well, I have never played any of the Fire Emblem games as of yet. I don't know if I'm really that interested in either. I don't know. I haven't really been watching any people that have been playing Fire Emblem Three Houses either. So maybe, I guess, if I'm looking for something and I just don't know what to play, I might look into it just to see what it's all about and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about Fire Emblem series in general. So
yeah, I've only played it a little bit on the DS and I couldn't get into it. But for me, I love the story. But for me, it was the way the battle system works. Because I don't like the whole checkerboard battle system that you get close to the character, then you smack them. I've always liked turn-based or straight to it, like Kingdom Hearts. But the story, I've really enjoyed. I watched my brother-in-law play it thoroughly, and I really enjoyed the story. And then I watched Ferran play it a little bit, and I really enjoyed the story as well. I was like, wow. Again, he only played a little bit of it, and I was like intrigued. But the battle system always gets me. I'm not into that type of battle system. But I heard the game itself, it's good, you know. So that, hey, it sucks because I wish I could. But usually what I'll do is I'll go on YouTube and look, you know, Fire Emblem story, and then I'll just watch as the person explains it.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can play it.
I mean, I've seen a lot of people talking about it on Twitter. It sounds kind of intriguing, but
I heard it's good. I heard it's really good. Red Rover said, I have a question about viewers. How do you deal with people in your streams so well, like viewers who repeatedly ask for their MM2 level to be played, or just people in general? All right, so this is a little bit of a difficult question to answer because everybody has their own way of dealing with them. So Mama Remy, how do you deal with people like that?
I'm still working on a queue system that actually works. I had one. I tried using the one that you used, Riga, but I was running into the same problem that you had. Like, you can't see where you're at in the queue, and everyone was wanting to know where they're at. So I'm like, look, I was like, I don't know how to, you know, show you where you're at in the queue. So have patience with me. I'm having patience with you. Just have patience with me. Well, then Lightning Farron gave me the one that she was using, and it was working for a little bit, and then it broke, and then I had to shut my stream down because it broke so bad. Now I'm trying the one that Chadley just, you know, kind of implemented and is going to start implementing. And it's like, I don't know if this is going to work because, you know, I'm a smaller channel. I don't know if a lot of people are going to want to join my Discord just to post something. Usually they want to post it in the stream chat and run, which is fine. But basically I tell people, at least on my side of the stream, it's like, hey, look, my stream is my house. There's no fighting in my house. You will have patience in my house. I have patience for you. You need to have patience for me. And if you do not have any patience for me, I do not have any patience for you. Right click, delete, bye.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure. What do you do, Kazoo?
I don't know. I thankfully, like, I haven't had too many problems with people being impatient and, like, I don't know, stuff like that. Like, I mean, you know, trolls obviously, get banned. But as far as people wanting to see where their level is, I actually saw something on Twitter. It was actually from Ugly Stewie, about like if you're a Mario Maker 2 streamer, you should implement this into your stream. And it's like a command, like exclamation mark patience, and it says like I'm only one person, and please just wait your turn unless you're like a member or subscriber or whatever.
Yeah,
he's
for
on
sure.
Twitch, so subscriber.
Stephie, what about you?
Oh yeah, the read my last comment problem. That's true.
Yeah.
The read my last comment. That just like getting to troll level, honestly. So I think those people should probably be banned.
What about you, Stephie?
So for me, I have been very lucky. I have Rhinosaurus, who I know other people utilize as well. So I have an actual mod run my queue for me. So I keep it in Discord so people can go in and see it being updated live. So I refer people to that. I'm like, if you want to see where you're at, please go into the Discord. You can check it out there. There's some people who can't join Discord, and I leave it up to my mods if they want to go in and find that how far down they are the list. But I let them know. I'm like, your level will be played. If we don't get to it today, it does carry over. You guys get first priority. People seem to be satisfied with that. They just want to know that it's not going to go away at the end of the day, that they can come back, that they can revisit. And then typically from there, it chills out. People don't keep pushing. Every once in a while, you'll get that one person who's really impatient. They're like, oh, but my level's so good. Honestly, just keep calmly explaining to them. It's not a big deal. People understand. It's kind of the same old that we've seen for years with Mario Maker. And if they get out of hand, delete, bye-bye. But that's basically it. But yeah, so having a mod actually handle it has been tremendous wonders for me. It makes things a lot easier. It goes really smoothly. I pull directly out of the Discord, so it's being updated right away. It's simple. It's the way to go. If you guys can find someone who's willing to help you do that.
Chadley, what about you?
Yeah, similar to Stephie, Ryan has been a very big help for me, because I basically do the same thing where as people post levels in the chat, he puts them in my Discord, keeps it all nice and organized. I do have Warp World set up in my Discord now, so that when I'm off stream, people that are in the Discord are more than welcome to post levels there. So we're trying, we're in this weird transition period because Warp World is still in its very early stages, so it doesn't have all of the same features as what the original Mario Maker queue had. But I have been seeing updates where eventually what they're implementing now will be almost the exact same thing that they had before with Mario Maker. And they are working on a YouTube bot. It's the only bot pretty much that is still waiting to be available, because they've made a bot pretty much for every single other platform that you could think of. There's Twitch, which is where it originated, but then there's there's DLive, Mixer. Now they're in Discord. They were never in Discord before either. So they're definitely trying to branch out and make official bots for every type of streaming platform possible.
Yeah.
And the one with YouTube is the only thing with that is YouTube's API. I'm gonna get a little programmer nerdy with you here for a little bit, but their API has limits on how many times you can request information from the API.
Oh,
and
it's
with
a limit.
so with the way it works is when that bot becomes so popular, which it already is, that queue will run out very, very quickly, and you can only request it so many times per day. I think that's how it works usually. But if you can prove to YouTube that you have enough it's requested, and the popularity of wanting to use it is there, you can request for that to get increased. That's how Nightbot works. That's why Nightbot works, is because Nightbot is used so much throughout YouTube that their queue or their limit is so high that it never runs out, or if it does, it's very rare that it runs out.
I wish there was a way for Nightbot to actually be used like it did in Super Mario Maker 1 with
that's
this.
What
well, and again, that was something
wondering.
That was something that was developed by someone outside of Warp World and then was implemented into their instructions later on. Like someone actually went in and they figured out how Warp World was like working. And I guess the way it's doing it now, it's not the same. Like they've updated their code structure and everything, so it's doing it a little bit differently. So that's why you can't just simply do the same thing.
Yeah.
But the more the word gets out and the more people like register with Warp World with their YouTube accounts and stuff like that, then they'll be able to go back to YouTube and say, well, look, we have all these people that have set up their accounts, given Warp World access to be able to post on their behalf in their chats, that kind of thing. And then YouTube can say, okay, well, yes, you're gaining enough support here that we can help you out. From what they've said, it's just a huge like pain in the butt to do anything with YouTube. So and that's why they never did it for Mario Maker 1. That's why they just stuck with Twitch and they basically used Nightbot as the workaround.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, like going back to what the original question was, yeah, Ryan's a huge help to me. And then I just have Warp World as that in-between phase right now where I kind of have two queues right now. But for as far as people coming in, submitting levels, and then dashing, like that's like we've been dealing with that ever since Mario Maker 1. It's worse now because just so many more people have access to Mario Maker.
Yeah.
So when people come in, they add their level, or they don't understand how you have your. That's the important thing, is to tell people right away, like, this is how it works here. And if you don't like it, there's another streamer that's doing this too. Have your luck with them.
That's true, yeah.
But if they're patient and they understand, like, this is how I have it set up, and this is the best I can do, like Remy said, the people will mostly be okay with it. If they start to get upset about it, all you can do is just say, sorry, I'm doing my best. I'm only one person. I'm only one person. So
exactly.
So yeah, and again, the amount of people that come in and say, play my level, play my level, play my level, and forget about your queue because I'm the best. My levels are the best. Like, they're few and far between for most of us. So I mean,
zombie.
I don't run into
So I mean, if you have those kinds of people, I think we all handle it the right way.
Hi, Kazooie, no evil monkey smiling face.
I mean, like for myself, I mean, we get a lot of people who come in, play my level, it's the best, play my level. And I get a lot of kids who come in and say, hey, where am I in the queue? And, you know, I'm looking at the queue, but I can only see 1 through 5. I can't see any more than 1 through 5. That's how I have it set up. So I'll be like, I don't know. I'm not going to stop and look. You know, I don't like looking. And then they keep bugging and bugging and bugging. And then I finally get to their level. And then my issue isn't so much they bug me about the level. I'll get to their level and I get, okay, I'm going to play it because I want to see how fast I am compared to you. And it's like, well, I mean, I just got to your level, you know? And I don't have the luckiness of having my mods out to help me, you know? I'll have 30 something plus people watching me. Oh, don't you start, Mama Remy. Were you at my streams last week at all? There we go.
That's the first time I've missed in a long time, mister.
So, no, but let's talk serious. But so, like, I'll have 30 plus people, and I'll have maybe Mama Remy, and I'll have maybe Ugly Stewie. But they're there. Everybody else, because I do streams during the day, are at work, right? So it's very hard to ask them to do the queue for me, because everybody else is at work. Ryan leaves midway, and it's very difficult. So then I count on Streambot. That's why I use Streambot. The problem is these kids get very impatient and they don't understand no matter how much I tell them. Listen, the number shows up. I can't tell you where you are. If it told you you're number 12, count the levels as I'm playing them. That's the only way you can do it. Like, that's the only way I can do it for you. You know, I don't like to put that stress on my mods. The only thing I ask them is take care of the trolls, because like it or not, I do get a lot of trolls now with Mario Maker. I get tons of them, left, right, and center. And I don't like to explode on them, but then after a little bit, it does tick me a little bit, and I will explode. I've done it several times on stream where I'll just tell them, look, you've asked me several times, I've answered your question several times, I can't. Like, your level is this number. I've told you this already several times. And it's like, whether you like it or not, I'm sorry, that's how it is. Or like, I'll get the troll level and I explain to them that if it's a troll level, I don't like them. I'll play them for 2 minutes tops and I'll get out of them because I don't like troll levels. And they get so mad because I don't play troll levels. So like, well, DGR does. Well, I get that DGR does. I understand Dave does, but I'm not Dave. I don't like troll levels. You know? So the way I handle it is I try to be very calm about it and try to repeat myself. A lot of people just start banning or timing out, but I try my best to be patient with them, but there's a limit, you know, how much I can take, you know, because like I tell them, it's a live stream. It's a live stream. I'm not gonna sit there and keep attempting. Like Dave, because I asked Dave, I go, how do you deal with troll levels? He goes, there's a difference. I record them. He goes, it'll take me 3 to 4 hours to play some of them. He goes, because they're so bad.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Exactly. Yeah. It takes him. I remember I was watching one of his videos and he said like, I've been on this level for like 3 hours now.
Exactly.
And he had to like get up and leave for a while and then come back.
Oh yeah.
So like, there's a difference between a video versus a stream.
Yeah, you can't do that on a stream. The streams have to keep
well, that's the thing. Everybody wants their level to be played, so it's very difficult to satisfy everyone's, you know, level. And I do get, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm sure everybody gets that. My level's the best. It has a 0.0 clear rate. And like I tell people, just because you have a 0.0 clear rate doesn't necessarily mean your level's hard. Maybe for some reason
it's bad.
Maybe it means somebody hasn't taken the time
played yet,
or hasn't been played yet. Yeah, you know. But that, like my whole thing is I love playing Mario Maker and I love doing viewer levels. It's my favorite thing to do. My issue is that I don't want to get mad at them, but sometimes I just have to because they just don't understand that it's like what they said, one person, there's 47, 50 levels coming in. My queue doesn't leave from that number. Like even right now, even though nobody's put anything in the queue, if I go to the lowest one, I have already 20 levels sitting there waiting for me to be played. Right? And when I finished my stream, I wasn't even at 20. I was at 10 and I was so happy. But it just stacks up so quickly. And
it really does.
And I try to tell people that. That's why I made that command by my level. But then that's why I made the command only to be able to be used once. So if you really want me to, like I tell people, if you really want me to play your level, buy your level. If you really want me to play your level, hit that like button. I'll give you all the taco pistols you want. And you can buy your level. You know? But it is what it is. I mean, there's not much I can do about it. You know, I just put a smile and I try to let them know this is what happens. My mods, I don't expect them to be there every day. I don't want them to be there every day. But they get also impatient too. I see it all the time. Ugly Stewie tells me after the stream how, you know, this person was bugging him because he wouldn't stop with the level. You know, and then, I mean, there's not much I can do though. These kids are gonna bug. They're gonna bug. You know, and I can't ask my mods to sit there and grab the queue for me because a lot of them are busy. Again, a lot of them I do my day streams, so a lot of them are working. Mama Remy, you have your kids, you have your husband, you're busy too, so I can't sit there and ask you to sit there and do that. You know, Stephie works. Ryan's there for a little bit and he tries his darn hardest to take care of, but he's busy with all these trolls. So it's like, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna keep it with this bot because that's how it is, and that's why I did that purge where I had to get rid of a lot of what do you call it, mods, because a lot of them I would ask for help and it's like, well, we can't come, or they will tell me they're not available, but then maybe I'll raid someone and then that mod that I asked is there helping that person.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. And instead of dealing with the responsibility of, well, where are my mods or anything, it's like, well, at the end of the day, I'm just gonna tell people to be patient. I don't want to put that responsibility on anybody's hands. It's too much responsibility. And as a streamer and as a mod on other people's streams, it's too much responsibility, and I know the headache that comes with it. I definitely know the headache that comes with it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
That
so
makes sense.
for me, how do I deal with it? Like, again, I just tell them to be patient. I try to be patient as much as I can. And that's all we can do as streamers, as content creators. Be patient, right? And if they can't be patient, it's like what you guys say, see you later, have a good one.
Yeah.
You know, that's all we can do, right?
Yeah.
All right, the last thing is, since the announcement of Banjo for Smash and Nintendo and Microsoft, are you on par right now? Okay, I don't know. I think he meant partnered. Do you think they will make another Banjo-Kazooie game? So I guess what he's asking is, because of the announcement with Banjo for Smash between Nintendo and Microsoft, do we think there's going to be another Banjo-Kazooie game coming out? So let's go ahead and start with Mama Remy.
Where's my Goku for Smash?
Goku for Smash.
What?
Anytime Smash gets brought up, it's like hashtag Goku Smash. It's like, where's my Goku? But no, I think that by releasing him or them for you know, Smash, it opens up for the buzz and for other people to see if there actually is like a demand for them for a game to be released and to come out. You could track to see how much, you know, like people like bought that character or bought the fighter pass because they're included in it. Otherwise, I'm not really sure because, you know, there's Nintendo really trolls people sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
It's like we get Joker from Persona 5, but we're not gonna get Persona 5 on the Switch. So
Yeah.
it's like this gets released in the fighter pass. Does that necessarily mean we're gonna get another game? That might, you know, not always be the case. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. That was
That's
a...
fair.
I know, I was hoping for Persona on Switch because I've never played it. What do you think, Kazoo?
Well, I think that because Microsoft and Nintendo, they're all, you know, they're very buddy. Right now, it seems like you were just saying earlier with the Xbox controller, and you know, all
All the buddy-buddiness that's happening there.
What? Wait, what'd you say?
I said all the buddy-buddiness that's happening with them.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I could see it. I could definitely see it happening. Over because Banjo did used to be a Nintendo franchise, of course. I mean, it was designed by, you know, Rareware, but which is now just Rare Limited. But they and of course Microsoft owns them, obviously, which is where that all comes from. I guess if anyone doesn't know that, but it did sort of originate on Nintendo platforms, but
Yeah.
But now, now obviously it's Microsoft. So all that to say, I could see it. I could see it happening. Honestly, I could see some sort of like a rare replay coming out for Switch or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we have all of these Microsoft games also coming over. I don't know if you guys have seen that meme, but it's like Xbox is like a sinking ship, and then you have the Nintendo Switch lifeboat coming and rescuing all the entire
That's funny.
But yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we see Banjo added to that lifeboat. I don't know.
For sure. What about you, Miss Stephie?
So, do I think it's going to happen? Yes. Do I think it's going to happen soon? Absolutely not. I think that's going to be one of those cards that Microsoft is holding in their hand for when they really do publicly say, yes, Nintendo and Microsoft are truly partnering together. Right now, they're like, oh yeah, we're sprinkling a little bit here, a little bit there, but nothing official has come out and said, we shook hands, we are partners, we're doing this. I think once they start to merge more into that direction, because right now they're still kind of testing the waters, making sure that everything goes as they expect. At that point, they'll pull the card and say, okay, because of this, we're going to give you guys what you wanted, because Microsoft is awesome, we're amazing, and we are going to give you guys some Banjo. When they get to that point, that is when we're going to start to see some Banjo-Kazooie. Up until then, we'll just see a little trinkle here and there. You know, maybe if they do another Mario Kart, maybe Banjo will have an appearance. He has his appearance now in Smash. It's going to be those little Easter eggs we see until they get to that point in their partnership, I think.
Yeah. What about you, Chadley?
It's kind of interesting what Microsoft is doing lately, because it's almost like they're trying to set themselves up in a position where if they drop out of the console race and they stop making Xbox systems, they stop trying to be the competitor with two other major video game manufacturing companies, that it's almost like they're trying to get themselves set up so that if they were to leave, they have Nintendo as their source for any games that are developed that are not going to be on a PC. They are slowly trickling it in there. I think they're trying to test the waters with Nintendo to see what kind of games Nintendo is going to be interested in having put onto their platform from Microsoft. And then the whole other thing with Microsoft, which I know is a different division. It's not Xbox. It's their cloud-based department. It's nothing tied with their console or anything like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, having the partnership with Sony to try to compete with Stadia, all that kind of stuff too. So they're like partnering in all these different areas, I think, to make sure that if the Xbox ultimately dies and they become basically another company similar to Sega, where they still want to develop software, but they want to have a place to put that software other than PC, because they know putting software on PC at this point is, if it's only PC, it's not the smart move to do anymore.
No, it's not going to be seen by
it's not the same. Like, you got to put your stuff on console too to get the most profit out of that particular game. So I think that's what, like, Microsoft is basically doing that. They're trying to get themselves ingrained and forming these partnerships so that they can continue to get revenue coming in from other sources, so they're not relying on the Xbox brand.
Yeah.
In case it inevitably dies.
Exactly.
I feel like that's what they're trying to do. They're putting their efforts in other areas just because I think they see what's going to end up happening with the Xbox very soon.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if this next iteration of the Xbox is their last attempt. And if it doesn't go well, then they're done. And they're just going to be like, okay, you guys love our games on the Switch. Well, guess what? They're all going on the Switch. Or there's the whole Xbox Live thing where everybody thinks that they're going to come out with an Xbox Live app for the Switch, which would be awesome. I mean, it would be a smart move on Microsoft's part to allow Xbox Live to be on the Switch and have access to games through the Xbox Live platform. I mean, they're doing it with
Just
the
give
PC.
me achievements.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing it on the PC now too, so you can do PC games through Xbox Live now. So, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting time, I guess, is the best way to put it. So,
yeah, no, for sure. I know, like, I mean, I wouldn't mind another Banjo game. of course, like I've only played the first Banjo on the N64, and it was fun. Just 100%ing it was kind of hard. You know, it's a slow-based game, so it was kind of hard. And that's how I felt about, you know, Donkey Kong 64 when that came out on the 64. It was slow-based, and they kind of forced you to use everything in that game to be able to get certain bananas. But I mean, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Do I think they're gonna release it? I'm gonna say no. I don't believe they're gonna release it on the Switch, any Banjo game. I can't see it. I don't know. Unless they do like a remake of the first one and then they did it that way. But I don't know. I really don't know. Who knows? Maybe they're just testing the waters out with the character first, right?
I mean, maybe it's not coming to Switch, but if they decide to do an N64 classic, maybe that's when they'll drop it.
Maybe.
True.
Maybe that's when they'll get the permission and they'll drop it, and then there you go. I have to remember, like, like one of the questions I was always asked is there must be a reason why Nintendo didn't re-sign for their stocks, especially being the majority holder of them. They probably saw something that they did. I don't know. And I haven't seen anything magical about Rare since Microsoft took over, right? So nothing. They tried it. They tried to reawake Banjo, and I heard that was just a complete failure.
It's the best Banjo-Kazooie game.
You know, that's what I heard. It was just a complete failure. Yes, baby.
We planned this. We were listening music, but it went.
Oh jeez. But yeah, I don't know. That's just me. Okay, guys. I just noticed that it's almost like 11. We've never gone that long. So yeah, basically at the end of the day, we got a chance to talk about everything from conspiracies to what we thought about punishment and rumors and all this stuff. It was overall a good cast today this month.
Really good discussion.
Lots of good discussions for sure. I mean, at the near the end of the month, everything started bombarding me. I was like, "Oh my god, this is coming! Oh my god, this is coming!" And I thought we were gonna have a nice slow month. I wasn't expecting to have so much come out like it did. But thank you guys, Mama Remy. Thank you for joining us as always, and Kazoo, thank you for joining us as well. Stephie, thank you for taking time as well for joining. Of course, thank you for joining
the invite.
Of course.
Yeah,
and Chadley, thank you for joining us as well. Guys, thank you all for coming out to join us on the stream. Let's go ahead and raid someone. Who could we raid? Let's see. Do we have anybody new that we normally don't raid? Any ideas?
I got RTG. That's
what I was gonna say.
now. RTG is streaming Mario Maker 2. He's got 4 people watching right now.
Oh, Dumo plays.
RTG. What's RTG's thing?
Doing a 500 sub celebration. He has 7 watching right now on Splatoon.
That's Dumo, yeah.
Yeah, Dumo. I love Dumo. He's so fun.
RTG is that's just his channel name is RTG.
That's it, just RTG.
Yep, just
There,
RTG.
I linked it for you.
In the chat, yeah, in the Discord chat.
Shoot, I can't get on the Discord chat. Give me a second here. I'm gonna have to search him. Let's see.
Yeah, it should just come right up. Or I can post the link in the live stream if that's where we're gonna go.
Yeah, we might have to go. I was thinking him because yeah, he's almost at. Oh, I found him. Here we go. Took a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and raid RTG then. He looks like he has 400 subs and 9 people watching. Why not? Give me a second here, guys. We're gonna do hashtag TacoCast raid. So there is his link. So we're gonna use hashtag TacoCast raid, and let's go ahead and raid RTG. Let's show him some love. Let's see what his reaction's like.
It was really good.
I always enjoy when it's a big raid. I love the reactions. Usually they're like exploding.
Yeah.
Oh, same.
That's the best.
Incoming raid. Warning. Incoming raid.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Raiders, hit
Ryan,
that like
Mama
button
Remy, Stephie
and
the
show
Unicorn,
your
Bala,
love.
Spanish Dude, Tommy Meadows, Chris Mitter, Zombie Lord.
All right, guys. Awesome. Thank you all for joining. I super appreciate it. All right, guys. That's it for today. I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday. You know what that means. We're going to be playing our Mario Maker. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget the most important thing in the whole wide world. Come to my live stream on Super Famous. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.